Hello internet world. What do you think of this new camera angle I've been using recently? I like it, but I'd like to hear from you in the comment section below. Now today's video I want to show you a couple of products actually. One is a viewer requested product and the other one is this little guy here. This is the Nest Cam. Now I've used products from Nest for a long time. I've got their smoke alarm and carbon monoxide detector. I've also got their Nest Learning thermostat. I'll show you how that interacts with the app in a short while. And I've also got not one, not two, but three of these little Nest cameras. And they are absolutely fantastic. Now inside the box, you get pretty much everything you're going to need to set this up. The first thing you get is this, and this is like a mounting plate that you can actually screw to a wall, and then it sort of magnetically adheres to the base on this stand. Now the base is also magnetic as well, so once these two go together it is very difficult to remove them. In fact, to remove this bottom plate for this video I had to get a knife in there and pry them apart. It's a really strong magnet. Now you don't have to use this, but what this also adds is a little tiny bit on the back just so you can route the cable a little bit easier. So let's snap these together. You've got to mind you don't pinch your fingers. So they're together, and it is more or less impossible unless you've got a knife or something to put in this little gap here to get these apart. Now this still remains completely magnetic even with this mounting plate on, so I can stick this to a side of a fridge or a metal cupboard or anything that is magnetic, and you can mount this sideways, upside down, right way up, or indeed if you don't want to stick it to something you can just sit it on your desk or a bookshelf. You can put it in between books so it disguises the camera a little bit. And the fact that you can mount this in any angle, and the fact that this also sort of goes up and down, and the fact that you can rotate the camera inside the mount, in fact you can pull the camera completely out and put it inside a waterproof casing if you want, makes it really versatile, so you can get pretty much any angle that you want. Now this little cable coming out the back, this is a micro USB to full size USB cable, and this goes into an included power adapter. This cable is very long. In fact, I can't show you where, but over the other side of the studio this is plugged in. So this has probably got to be about I'd say a 10 to 12 foot cable, and you just simply clip it into this little cable tied in. It just keeps it nice and neat running out the back there. Now on the back there is a QR code and some other information, and adding cameras to the app and to your account is extremely easy. You just scan the QR code within the app and it adds it to your account. Very quick to set up. These are wireless connection, obviously not wireless because they need some power going to them. The actual connection to these and the cloud and the app is all wireless. Now with regards to what it captures, now it captures either 720p or 1080p video. I think you can set it to a lower resolution as well, and it's like a home monitoring camera. It also handles audio as well, and you do have to pay a subscription fee if you want your video footage that's captured, so like motion capture. You need to pay a subscription fee, and you can choose between a 10-day storage, which is obviously 240 hours of footage, or a 30-day storage, which is 720 hours of footage. You normally get, when you buy one of these, I think it's either a 7, 10 or 30-day trial. There's various promotions go on from time to time, but you get a certain trial period so that you can look back through the history of what video this has captured. And it's really good quality, very high quality. I think it's time for me to stop rabbling on about the actual camera and show you how it interacts with the app. So here we go. This is what the main home screen on the app looks like. You can see the Nest camera in the background there, and I've got a couple of cameras and also this camera I'm showing you here, and also my Nest Learning thermostat. This is what controls the central heating, so I can turn the thermostat up or down, I can set schedules, I can look back through the history, and in fact it's plenty warm enough, so let's turn this completely down to 12 degrees, and this sends a signal up to the learning thermostat and then turns it off. Now let's have a look at this camera. So this is the studio camera, and you can see me on the screen there, and we've got various controls. So what we can do is we can actually go into settings, and we can set the camera to a home and away setting, a schedule. We can change the image quality, and indeed we can go 360p, 720p or 1080p. We've also got a night vision mode. We can also rotate the image, and that's handy for if you're maybe mounting this on a ceiling and you're mounting it upside down, so you can rotate the image 180 degrees. Video access, you can make them public or private. Talk and listen chime, that's so if you push the talk button it'll chime before you actually talk. Let's actually turn that on. And then we've also got a status light. Now there are lights that appear on the camera for when it's recording. I keep those turned off, and we can also have sound on and off as well, and this means that you can actually pick up sound from the camera or indeed communicate with somebody standing by the camera. Where is the location of the camera, and then we can also set notifications, and in here you can have push notifications for motion or sound and email notifications for motion or sound as well. We've also got some technical info and also the option to remove a camera from your network. So that's the settings. Back to the main screen, we can turn the camera on or off. We can talk, and the camera chimes. There you go, you're going to get some feedback on it because we're recording near to the camera, but this allows you to communicate with somebody in the room. Maybe you've got this actually located inside a porch or an entrance hall. Somebody comes in, you can communicate with them, and it's just fantastic for that sort of thing. We can also enhance, which is like zooming into an area, and we can also look back through a history of what the camera has actually captured. Now again, as I mentioned before, that can be a 10-day or a 30-day history depending upon your subscription. If you've got multiple cameras, you do get a discount for multiple cameras. We can also turn the camera on and off with this little toggle switch here. If I rotate this round, it obviously goes into full screen. This gives you an idea on the actual quality. Let's actually put something nice and colourful in front of the camera, and you can see the actual quality that it actually picks up. Look at that, very, very crisp, very good colour. We have got this sort of fisheye effect because it is nice and wide angle, but it really does pick up some really good detail on either the 720p or the 1080p setting, and there's not much delay either. Look, I'll remove that from the camera view, and there's about a 1 second delay, maybe 1.5 seconds. Very, very good performance indeed. The thing I like about the Nest Cam is that it is very, very easy to set up, and the actual quality that you're getting from this little tiny camera is more than good enough for home security. And as I say, you can get a variety of third-party mounts as well. You can even get a waterproof mount for this so that you can mount it outside. Yes, you still do have to handle running power to it, but I think it works extremely well indeed. So that is the Nest Cam, and I thoroughly love these little cameras. As I mentioned before, I've got 3 of these and I highly recommend them. If you want to pick up one for yourself, I will leave a link in the video description. Now, I also mentioned at the beginning of this video that I had a viewer requested product to show you. And I pride myself that in the 10 years I've been producing videos on YouTube, right from day one all the way up to today, I try and answer pretty much every single comment that comes in on the channel. In fact, I read all of them and I answer as many as I can. And I just love the community feel. So I got a comment come in this morning just asking if I could show this. This is my Leatherman Squirt ES4 little tiny multi-tool utility knife. And the reason that this person probably asked to see this is it's been appearing in videos for many years. In fact, I think that this is probably around about 4 or 5 years old. And I use it for lots of things, but mainly for when I get packages come in. I don't use a big knife, there's no need. I use this little tiny knife. It's just nice and handy. I keep it in one of my cupboards and it comes out when I need to unbox something. So this has got lots of tools. Obviously the main tool is this little tiny knife. So I use this for opening up boxes. And also on this side here, we've got something that could be used as a flathead screwdriver, but really it is a file. So this is used for filing things, and yes, I have used it to file things on occasion. And then round on this side, we've got even more tools. So here we have got a little tiny pair of scissors, and these do actually work. I don't use them a lot, but they do work, and they're just nice and easy to, if you've got to snip something very quickly like a loose thread, then they're ideal for using for something like that. And then next up, let's just fold these back in. These are a little bit tricky to get back in. We have got on this end here 2 screwdrivers. So we've got a larger flathead and a smaller flathead screwdriver. Let's pop those back in. And this has not got hundreds of tools like some of these devices, but the last one, you open it up this way, and this is very handy, I have used this quite a lot, is it opens up like this, and what we've got there is a wire stripper. So if you are putting a plug on something, you can use this to strip the wire down. Very, very useful indeed. And this works extremely well. And to fold this back in, it's a little bit easier. Like so. And that is pretty much it. There's a little tiny sort of a split ring on the end there, so you can attach it to a key ring if you want to. But this is the Leatherman Squirt ES4. And it's just a nice, tidy little product that works extremely well. And I'll leave a link to this again in the video description, assuming they still make them. I'm sure they do, but it just looks like brand new. I can't believe I've used that for so many years, and it just looks like the day that I've received it here. So very, very good indeed. Now that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really wanted to share with you both this and of course the Nest Cam. Just to end talking about this a little bit more, if you're looking at adding some home security or peace of mind, that you want to keep maybe an eye on your children whilst you're at work, or you've got a pet that you leave at home whilst you go out or you go to work, then this sort of thing's ideal. The fact that it's sort of semi-portable, yes, you do still have to plug it in, but it's so easy to mount in all different places thanks to this sort of magnetic base, and also the base that you can permanently mount to a wall. I just think makes it very flexible, and the quality that it produces from this tiny little camera is really very cool indeed. So again, just to emphasize, I highly recommend these. Absolutely fantastic. And I've used Nest and their thermostat as well, which again, I highly recommend the thermostat, for quite a few years now, and it works absolutely flawlessly. Very, very pleased indeed. So anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again in another one very soon.